U.S. senators say it's too hard for people to buy houses and that landlords are buying up too many homes, so they're proposing a bill that would limit how many houses a landlord could own. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. All right, so I have an interesting topic for you today, and it has to do with corporate landlords, but it could also apply to regular landlords like you and me, okay? So basically, there's some U.S. senators up in Washington, D.C., and they think that landlords owning too many properties are causing the housing shortage right now, okay? They obviously don't understand economics. They don't understand the issues of supply and demand, and they think that, hey, it's landlords' fault that people can't find houses. You know, they're buying up all the homes, making it impossible for first-time homeowners to even get into the market, and it's just not the case, okay? The truth of the matter is that landlords, they buy a small fraction of the homes that are available out there. Yeah, we do provide a lot of the rental housing, but that is a needed service that we're providing, okay? We wouldn't be buying all these homes if there weren't renters who needed a place to live. They demand the homes to live in, okay? We are providing the service that is, that is needed. It's necessary. We're providing housing to people who can't afford to buy their own homes right now and need somewhere to live. So we're doing what we should be doing, okay? And the market is reflecting that. Now, the problem is when they put all these rules, regulations, and all these government policies out there, that makes it harder for them to build new housing. And when there is less new housing being built, hey, guess what? Prices are going to go up, especially with a growing population. So the demand stays the same, the supply, the demand goes up, but the supply stays the same. And guess what? Housing prices increase and housing becomes more scarce. So the solution to this problem in reality would be, hey, we need to build a lot more housing, okay? But instead of doing that, they want to punish landlords. And yeah, they're targeting corporate landlords with this legislation, but a lot of smaller landlords could get hit with it as well. And I'll explain all of that as I get into the article. So before I get into the article, go ahead, hit the like, subscribe button, maybe leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think, okay? Do you believe that by limiting the number of homes that landlords can purchase, that will actually help people be able to find houses or, decrease the cost of housing out there? I don't, okay? The demand for rental housing is going to remain the same whether corporate landlords are buying large numbers of homes or if it's smaller landlords buying that exact same number of homes. The people who are renting are not buying for a reason, and mostly it's because they either don't want to because they want the flexibility of not buying, or they can't afford to, okay? So it has nothing to do with the fact that, hey, there's just not enough houses out there. It's just that right now they're not able to buy the home. So they still need to rent these homes whether the corporate landlords are offering them up or not. So anyway, let's get into the article because this is an interesting topic. This article is coming from WSOCTV.com, and it says, U.S. Senate bill would limit how many homes corporate landlords can own. Yeah, and keep in mind what I said before about the whole corporate landlord thing, okay? Anybody who owns an LLC and owns a property within an LLC is considered a corporate landlord. So let's get into the article and see what it says. Some corporations have been buying up thousands of homes in the Charlotte area. Some renters say the businesses charge higher rent and are quick to evict, but slow to fix things. Now, U.S. Senator Jeff Merkley, Democrat of Oregon, wants to ban corporate landlords from owning large numbers of homes. The American dream is being deeply damaged, he said. Let's get homeownership back in the hands of America's families. Merkley is pushing a bill, the End Hedge Fund Control of American Homes Act, which would limit how many single-family houses companies can own. The penalty would be $20,000 for each home over 100 homes. Companies with more than 100 homes would be able to sell their homes over multiple years to come into compliance. The bill also has incentives to encourage the companies to sell to ordinary people who will live in the home. Yeah, so basically they want to limit landlords to only being able to own 100 homes. Now, I could tell you something right now, okay? I know small landlords, not large, huge, mega hedge funds or corporations with billions of dollars, but I know smaller landlords here in Omaha who own 100 homes. Okay? And they don't own it under their name. They own it under an LLC. So if you're a local investor in your city and you own 100 houses and you own it under an LLC, guess what? You're falling under this same penalty that this senator is proposing. Okay? So you could easily be affected. Oh man. See, this is the sort of thing I talk about when I say, hey, they create these rules to go after these big, huge corporations, right? But they punish everybody. They punish the small landlords. And who's to say that they won't come back a few years from now and say, hey, well, 100 is too many. Maybe we should limit it to 10. Maybe we should limit it to 5. Or maybe we should limit it to 2, okay? And basically destroy all of us. See, that's why I don't believe this sort of thing is, good, and I don't think that we should allow it to happen, okay? So we have smaller landlords who, own 100 homes within one city, who are local to that city, maybe have a business that they've set up, and now they're being punished as though they are a multi-billion-dollar hedge fund, okay? This is ridiculous, okay? And I just don't agree with it. The National Rental Home Council speaks for the corporate landlord industry. It emailed Action 9's Jason Stugink. Single-family rental homes are providing a critical solution to America's housing shortage, increasing the supply of high-quality and affordable homes to offer more individuals and families the opportunity to live in neighborhoods located near quality schools, employment centers, and transportation corridors. At a time when hardworking Americans are already being squeezed by the rising costs of everyday goods and services, Senator Merkley's proposal will only reduce the availability of single-family rental housing while making it more expensive, ultimately hurting the very people for whom access to affordable priced rental housing is so essential. We encourage Senator Merkley to work with our industry to develop policies and incentives designed to help increase the supply of all types of housing, owner-occupied and rental. Increasing the supply of housing to serve the needs of both homeowners and renters is the solution to America's housing crisis, not penalizing one at the expense of the other. Yeah, and that's a very good statement. It brings up all of the points that I'm trying to cover here in this video, okay? Like they said there, the only thing this is going to do is make housing, harder for renters to find, and it's going to make it more expensive. And, you might wonder, well, how is that? How is that going to happen, right? Well, think of it this way. This bill will incentivize more homes to be sold to owner-occupants, right? But there's still this huge, huge amount of people who need rental housing. And the corporations are the ones who stepped up and provided it. So by there being less rental housing available, those people are going to have to pay higher prices. And there's going to be just less supply for them to be able to, even find a home to live in. So, yeah, this doesn't help renters at all. It's kind of pitting renters against owner-occupants as though owner-occupants are somehow superior. And, while I believe strongly in home ownership, I realize, too, there are a lot of circumstances where people want or need to rent a home. I rented myself. While I was a landlord, I was renting a house, okay? So, people can't tell me that, hey, there isn't a need for rental housing out there. They also mentioned in here that, the best way to alleviate this issue is by increasing the supply. Just what I always talk about, okay? If we build a lot more housing, and I'm not just talking about, in certain areas, we need to build this housing everywhere. And we need to end all these ridiculous government rules, regulations that are preventing landlords and real estate developers from providing the housing to people that they need. Bethany Rodwell said she'd absolutely support the Senate bill. She says she rented 2 homes from a corporate landlord, had problems, and had a lot of work orders, including for the washer and dryer, ants, doorknobs, among others. I have had to find the peace in God, she said. I have not played dirty. I have tried to extend grace. She told Stugink the company fixed some things, but usually only after many delays. It's very crazy how fast that they can reach out to you when you owe something, but how you cannot get in touch with anybody but an automated system and can't do nothing for you, she said. Well, talking to a tenant about this issue is ridiculous, okay? And this tenant doesn't seem to understand that, hey, there are good landlords that are huge mega corporations with thousands of properties, and there are bad landlords in some cases as well with only a few properties, okay? Just because the landlord owns less properties doesn't mean that that person is any better of a landlord, okay? So my other issue I have here is that they always talk about, oh, well, we can never contact anybody with this corporation. Well, guess what? These corporations, they use property management just like I do on my properties that I own out of state. Okay? So you contact the property manager to get something fixed, and they do the best they can to get it fixed as quickly as possible. So there's no benefit for a landlord to not fix anything, especially these large corporations. They want to be able to charge the highest rents possible, and they want to have the best tenants in their units who are constantly paying rent, so they get a return on their investment. And not fixing stuff wouldn't even make sense. Okay? Yeah, there's going to be delays, but there's delays with us small landlords too. I think that these large landlords have been painted as this scapegoat, and the end result is going to be not that the large landlords are going to be punished, right? They're going to be just fine. It's going to end up falling onto us smaller landlords. We're the ones who are going to suffer when they pass all these ridiculous new laws that say, hey, well, landlords can't do this, landlords can't do that. Next thing you know, you basically have the government controlling your entire business, and it's not profitable.